Well, hello, dear friends. This is indeed an exciting issue to have picked up of Daphne's diary. It's issue number 4 of 2024. You can see that here. And it's their 100th birthday issue. So it is slightly fatter. It did cost more. I think I paid £10.95 as the normal £7.50, which is the normal magazine cost. So hopefully it's not going to be an increase for each issue. But let's dive in here and have a look at this together. Covers are just beautiful. What a lovely little kitten. I do miss having my cat, really I do. But at this stage of my life, for now, it's just not possible. Lots of interesting little things coming up in the magazine. And look at those lovely poppies. I just have a really soft spot for poppies. I just love their papery feel, and they're absolutely gorgeous if you're wanting to paint them in watercolors, because you can get these lovely shades of color. Lovely illustrations here that you can use for journals and stuff. Oh, how gorgeous. I went with my son and my granddaughter the other day for the first time to see a bluebell wood. I'd wanted to see one for the last 25 years, and it was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. Here's lovely pictures. Love this reflection in the water that just mirrors all this lovely, and it's so calm, isn't it? Really gorgeous. Water is magical, absolutely magical. There's a wisteria growing at our church, which is really gorgeous, and it's got the most beautiful smell. I don't know that this is actually wisteria, although it looks like it. But I know in Japan they have these great big sort of metal frames over the walkways in the parks, and you just walk under this incredibly beautiful lilac blossom with this amazing scent. And in Pretoria in South Africa we have the jacaranda trees, which are deeper purple than this, and when they spread leaves onto the ground it's gorgeous. Mosaic is really fun, and it's a lot easier than you probably think that is to do. I used to teach Mosaic, and I've done 1 or 2 videos on it. It's really rewarding. You can make use of found objects like broken cups and things like that. It's a good way to transform terracotta pots. Maybe if they've got a couple of cracks, you can just reconstitute them. Use them for planters, or you could actually use them as decorative items in your home. And I've done some tabletops and things like that. Very easy if you've got the correct tools, like little towel nippers and things that you could cut up a teacup. And yeah, just experiment. You can have a lot of fun with that. And Mosaic is really just bringing together lots of small pieces to create something new. So it doesn't have to stick with tiles. I've done Mosaic with lentils, on eggshells, on whole eggs, and I made them into a mobile when I was at college. I've used buttons. I've used all sorts of things, and you can even do paper mosaic. So have a go. It's really fun. Nice travel feature here. And all the lovely herbs and flowers. That's good. Look at this sweet little face here. Really lovely. Right, cake toppers. Okay, so I suppose we're in for a bit of a celebration if this is their 100th issue. This is a lovely firm piece of card. And you've got a choice of either using those that you can fussy cut, or a piece of background cover paper. And then here are some numbers that you could use, as they've done here. Put them on to the cake. Otherwise a nice firm piece of card that you could use for a cover or tags and things like that. Lots of interesting posts that's come through, and nice colors here if you wanted to just cut out sections of color. Don't throw away the backgrounds necessarily. Lovely illustrations that you can use. And oh, look at that lovely little owl. So gorgeous. I had the joy during lockdown at home in South Africa. We had to be locked in our houses for quite a while, and because there was no traffic and people walking around, the animals got braver, and I was fairly close to a nature reserve, and I used to hear this owl at night. And then one day he was sitting right outside my bedroom window, just tweeting away in the middle of the night. Little frogs here. These are all things that you could do with animals. Wonderful therapy. I had leopard toad frogs in my garden. They were about the size of my hand. They were really enormous, and because we'd had drought for 4 years, we had to cover our swimming pools with a pool cover, and obviously the pool cover companies were really busy, so we ended up having to buy like an industrial grade bubble wrap Now these frogs used to hop all over the swimming pool thing because we couldn't swim in our pools. You know, we couldn't top them up with water. We couldn't use our machines, the creepy crawlies, to clean them. But the little leopard toad frogs, oh, they used to hop all over the place, and they're endangered in South Africa, so it was lovely to be able to bring them into my garden and offer them a refuge. And I built another pond which they could live in afterwards. Lovely illustrations for turtles if you're doing something with sea life. Paw prints if you do journals, cards with animals, you've got things there. Gift wrapping, yeah. You know, I love the look of this, but for me, I don't know, I just watch people rip the papers off, and that would be heartbreaking, but I love the artistry here, and I have watched some videos where they actually do this quite quickly, so I'm really in admiration of them. There's some lovely maps here which you could use for your mixed media projects, journaling, junk journals, card making, even if you had to separate some of the maps out depending on what parts you wanted. Okinawa, Japan. I've got two friends who missionaries in Japan. Yeah, they love it there. Look at these gorgeous little illustrations of rabbits and mice. And I love these retro sort of 1950s pictures. I think you could have great fun with those. Here is a sheet. Yep, a little sticker sheet that you could pull out that's actually got a whole load of nice little stickers that you could use. Leftover food, that's always the best, isn't it? These are these little jewelry pieces that this lady makes are using these glass pebble kind of things. I'm sure she's able to get them that are quite symmetric to fit into these metal cases. But what's lovely about these is that they actually kind of magnify a design. So if I was to put that on here, I don't know if you can see that nicely, how that just picks up the design and makes it somewhat bigger. So here she's using fabric at the back of the designs, but you could use paper and you could also use text. So I have in the past put messages or words on these and put a whole lot on a dinner table when I'm having guests around, and it's amazing how people sit together and make sentences and do all sorts of things like that. Loads of little covers. If you're into doing miniatures and that, these are fantastic for creating miniature items. That could be a nice cover on its own because it's fairly open to suggestions as to what could be created there. Again, recurring themes in Daphne's diary: flowers, pens, art materials, food things you can cut out. And I love this. I've done several online jigsaw puzzles of this particular scene, but if you're looking at it from a creative point of view, you could just simply cut out blocks of that and that would make a lovely tag or a backing for a card. Just the gorgeous colors that they have there. Beautiful artworks here, and I love these old brushes. This one even looks as though it's been handmade and just bound together. And you can make your own brushes just to be able to do things. We've had, where I live, pretty much every year actually, but last summer there were some artists that came in for a contest to do graffiti on walls that were kind of not looking so great, and in parts of town that needed cheering up, and they've done some amazing things with spray cans. I mean, you just can't believe how they can transform it. I'm not talking about the sort of vandalism graffiti, I'm talking about real art, and it was lovely watching them work. Plastic bottles melt into all these wonderful shapes, and also if you take a 2-litre soda bottle, you can use the base if you cut it out in scallops and then use that as a stem, painted with a bit of glass paints, and it's lovely decorative items for your garden. We did quite a lot of that back home. Layered cake made with lemon curd. I had the most beautiful lemon tree back home. It wasn't terribly tall. It was probably only about the height of the average ceiling, and we used to get masses and masses of lemons, but huge big ones like this, and I used to hand them out to everybody. And lemon curd is a big favorite, and it's so easy to make either on the stove or just in the microwave. Yeah, these are postcards, which are rather nice, that you could actually use to send to somebody. They're much bigger than normal postcards, but you could also fold that in half. Let's just see how it would work. So maybe if you made it slightly off center, you could do a cover for a journal. Anyway, you can play with that. There are 2 pages of this, and they're really nice firm card to work on. Breakfast in bed, not something that I have very often. I tend to get up. Now, I do like the thought behind this work, where this lady is cutting out all these beautiful images, and there are beautiful images, and collaging them. But that, to me, is, personally, it's just too much. And I do tend to, now that I think I've got older, want to say, well, what is the purpose? What am I going to do with it long term, rather than just making something for the sake of it? So I love the creativity in the way she's arranged the different components and stuff, but it is a little bit, it's a little bit busy without a purpose, I think. I think if it was just a section of something, it would be okay. Right, more paper crafts here, using paper cups and cutting out little shapes that you could use as paper lanterns, making buntons. Oh, weren't these lovely, pretty Chinese lanterns for parties? Lovely drinks to make, mocktails for summer. Those are nice. And with all the lovely fruit we get, why not? Just some information things. Here's some invitations. You've got 2 pages of them. They're fairly big invitations, but you can obviously play around those, and those again you could fold in half quite nicely. The bow, I'm sure, would come in the middle, and you could make that into the cover of a little mini journal that you could put into a tuck spot. Different months of the year and their meanings. Oh, look, more 1950s retro images and lovely illustrations of fruit and things. So there's lots that you can do with those. I love these little kids, they're so sweet. And a lady making miniature furniture, which is amazing. True work of art here. I hope she gets paid well for it. Here's a lovely mosaic that's been done. Looks like a fresco on a wall. Oh, it's a panel here that she's been doing. Yeah, really lovely. And a lady here making different color lampshade covers using gorgeous fabrics. People are so talented. That's a fun little illustration that you could color yourself and insert. And over the last couple of issues of Daphne's diary, I don't remember, they've got those little figures with giraffes and some with rabbits and things like that, and you could quite easily incorporate her in there because it's in that same sort of feel. Lovely illustration of a cake. And these are birthday calendars, and if you look on here, it says that in the next issue you're going to get, so this one gives you May, June, July, August. Next issue will give you September, October. Issue number 6, November, December. So you will be able to collect the whole lot, but you've just got a few pages for now. I think with this one you could do something quite nicely. That could almost be the start of a story, and you could actually put a piece of colored card here or paper and start to make it into something more personal. You know, like a book, when you open the pages, it's full of opportunities and there's a story to tell. Lovely landscapes here and lovely pieces of maps that you could use. These are all made with paper. Really, really amazing. A lot of them, some of them, they say they even take, I think I saw here, yeah, can take 3 to 4 months to make. And again, I would say that I enjoy looking at it, but if it wasn't something that was framed and it was something that was going to be damaged, I'm not too sure that I would be making it. Okay, tree trunk for a board game for a child. That's lovely. And I've got loads of stumps at work because I work on a farm, and there's a tree felling company that rents some of our barn space, and they give us a lot of these stumps, and I've been thinking about making a sundial out of one of them with one of my groups, so that I can show them how that they can use that to tell the time. But I think that's a lovely opportunity. It's in the garden, ready to play when the kids are out. Lovely tranquil scene here. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And picking up on all the little bits and pieces that you could use elsewhere. These are little press out dolls, back to back, so those would be nice either individually, or you could do them as a freeze on something, but they're quite nice if you had to just separate them here. Oh, they're all on one bottom. Okay, So sorry, I hadn't seen that piece that they all were joined to at the bottom. So it's going to take a bit of time to press these out. I probably need a pair of scissors. But each little doll will pop out, and then they're all on a tab at the bottom. So they could wrap around a journal. You could make them in a circle on a table if you were doing something like a party. But those are rather fun. Again, pop out things here, recipes. Those look gorgeous. Pancake rolls with salmon and cream cheese. Sounds good. And then I think I quite like this guy's art. He was an actor and a TV host, and he started doing this art, and he finds bowls that he picks up in a charity shop and starts to decorate them. And it's really fun, almost mandala type style painting, but just with white. And some of the big bowls that you'll see, there's one big one on this next page. He's actually made it all out of plaster, but really nice, sort of delicate, calm work. All right, flowers and foliage, so pressing flowers between tea bags to make something, a little card or tag. And again, repeats of images that you can use, teacups, pens, book covers, little travel things, more pens. Wholly of colour for your garden. Yeah, I don't know about this. There's not much difference in colours between those, and the garden does change so much from one season to the other. I'm not sure if I'm overly fond of those pages, but there's certainly elements here that I would use. So this is the big fold out, which is normally enormous. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so it's all to do with parties. So you've got a cake you can cut out. That you could make into bunting. So you've got a few pieces of that. And the cakes look as though they're pretty symmetrical. So you might even be able to put one against the other. But quite nice that you can cut them out separately. You've been able to see them all. It's such a big poster. Okay. Complete this drawing. Oh, so it's almost like a little puzzle to do. Oh, and here's some more. So this one's quite fun. How can that be? On this side there are 3 bars, and when you look on this side there are 4. Can you work it out? I think it's got to do with the way it's shaded here, because it's shaded dark there and dark there. Very clever with shading, that it makes what is the space between look like a block. Really clever. And these images I'm sure you've seen a lot on the internet. First I saw a rat, but if you look closely you can see a man's head. Well, I saw the man's head first, and only when I read it did I see the rat. So we see things differently. That's absolutely wonderful. Brain teasers here. And then here at the back you've got some lovely papers that you can use for your projects. Really beautiful. And lots of pictures. Oh look, one of the little bunnies. So it's in the line of those giraffes and things that we had previously. And when I said I'd tie out nicely with that lady, that was just an illustration. I don't know if I can find her in a hurry. I think it would actually work well with something like that. And then you've got loads of handbags. What fun. And there's your back cover. The next issue will be on the 9th of July. So thank you for joining me. It's been really a pleasure to go through this big fat issue, and I hope you feel inspired. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Bye for now.